Welcome to a brief introduction to accountability improvement and improvement planning Colorado style. This introduction should take you between 10 and 15 minutes to complete. The Colorado Educational Accountability Act, or Senate Bill 09-163, became law in the spring of 2009. This law was intended to align state accountability into a single system, provide transparent and common reporting of school and district performance information by the state, and establish a new system of support and intervention for schools and districts needing improvement. It also requires Colorado schools and districts to engage in a common improvement planning process for the first time. This was called Unified Improvement Planning. How does engaging in unified improvement planning result in improvements in school or district performance? The theory of action behind this planning effort was based on the notion of continuous improvement. The idea being that if schools and districts focus on appropriate indicators of performance, this will help them describe where they want to be. This focus will also help them evaluate their current performance and describe where they currently are. Then they can develop focused plans for improvement that map out how they're going to enclose the gap between their desired and actual performance, implement their plans, and then reevaluate their performance. Built into the Unified Improvement Planning process is the idea that this cycle repeats multiple times in a given year. According to the Educational Accountability Act, progress must be monitored at least quarterly. The Colorado Educational Accountability Act also established a common performance management structure for schools and districts. The first component of this structure is performance indicators, which are used to focus school and district improvement efforts in a common way. Colorado identified 4 performance indicator areas: academic growth, academic achievement, academic growth gaps, and post-secondary and workforce readiness. For each performance indicator area, the state identified common measures and metrics that were to be collected at the state level for all schools, and the state determined a level of performance for each metric to which schools and districts should compare their performance, and minimum levels of performance for each metric that would quote-unquote meet state expectations. This slide provides a brief overview of the state measures and metrics for each performance indicator. As Colorado transitions to a new state assessment system, some of the measures and metrics will be changing. The current measures and metrics include the following. For academic achievement, the measures are the percent of students who are proficient or advanced on TCAP or Colorado Alternative Assessment in reading, writing, and mathematics. Science was not included for the 2013-14 school year because of the assessment transition. For academic growth, the measures are median student growth percentiles and median adequate growth percentiles for reading, writing, and mathematics based on TCAP or Colorado Alternative Assessment, and for English language proficiency based on Access for ELLs. For academic growth gaps, the metrics are median growth percentiles and median adequate growth percentiles for students qualifying for free and reduced lunch, minority students, students with disabilities, students who are English language learners, and students scoring below proficient. For post-secondary and workforce readiness, which only applies to secondary schools, the metrics are average Colorado ACT composite score, the graduation rate overall and for disaggregated groups, and the dropout rate. Improvement planning in Colorado is unified because it's the key mechanism through which state and federal accountability for schools and districts are aligned. With the revisions to the Colorado Educational Accountability System, all state and most federal improvement planning requirements have been aligned into a single unified improvement planning process. Districts and schools report on this process using a common template or through a newly introduced online tool. Unified improvement planning provides the framework and structure for schools and districts to manage their performance. It also creates structures and processes which shift planning from a once-a-year event to a continuous improvement process, with the expectation that schools and districts monitor their progress and make adjustments to their plan throughout the school year. Finally, because unified improvement plans are published on the CDE website, they also provide external stakeholders with a way to learn about what schools and districts are doing. School and district unified improvement plans are designed to meet multiple state and federal requirements and some competitive grant reporting requirements. This includes the following. All improvement plans required by the Educational Accountability Act of 2000 9, student graduation and completion plans, gifted education program plans, improvement plans required by Federal Elementary and Secondary Education Act for Titles 1A, 2A, and 3, improvement plans for some competitive grants, and the provisions of the Colorado READ Act. Addenda forms are available for many of these programs to help schools and districts ensure that they have met federal and state reporting requirements through their Unified Improvement Plans. Based on the state accountability system, districts and schools are assigned to one of 4 plan types. These are performance, improvement, priority improvement, and turnaround. The type of plan helps identify which schools and districts will receive greater attention from the state, both in terms of state review of their plans and additional opportunities for state support. The assignment of a different plan type, however, does not correspond with a different planning process or the use of a different planning template or online form. Regardless of their plan type, all schools use the same planning template or the online form. The Colorado approach to improvement planning includes several specific planning processes. These are represented in different sections of the template or online form. Section 1 and 2 of the template and the first part of the online form provide current performance information about the school or district. Section 3 is designed to support school and district data analysis processes and the development of the school or district data narrative. This includes gathering and organizing data, describing notable performance trends, prioritizing performance challenges, and identifying root causes. Section 4 includes 2 distinct planning processes. The first part of Section 4 involves schools or districts going back to their priority performance challenges and setting annual performance targets for 2 years for each priority performance challenge, then identifying for each performance target interim measures that will contribute to their progress monitoring. The second part of Section 4 in the template is action planning. Action planning starts from the root causes that were identified in Section 3. Major improvement strategies should be identified for each root cause, with some major improvement strategies identifying more than one root cause. Major improvement strategies include action steps, timelines, key personnel, and resources. Then for each action step, implementation benchmarks must also be identified. Both the interim measures and implementation benchmarks provide the framework for ongoing progress monitoring. This presentation introduced a number of key terms used as part of Colorado's educational accountability and improvement planning systems. A few of the more critical terms are listed here on this slide. You should consider the Colorado Educational Accountability System terminology found in the Unified Improvement Planning Handbook. For each of these terms listed, ensure you could explain the term to a colleague. This is the end of the introduction to Accountability and Improvement Planning Colorado style.